This is part of NASA's Human Research Program's Immune Biomarkers Experiment and involves swabbing the inside of astronauts' mouths and comparing the samples both pre and post-flight as well as during flight to see how the body changes and adapts in the environment of space. Similar experiments are done on board the International Space Station, which has been continuously inhabited by humans for over 25 years. Data from both the International Space Station and the Orion crew during this crewed test flight will help inform future flights as part of the Artemis program. If you're just joining us, we are continuing to bring you live around-the-clock coverage of the Artemis 2 mission, humanity's first crewed mission to the moon in over 50 years. On the left-hand side of your screen, you're looking at a visualization of the Orion spacecraft as it makes its way to the moon, now 193,213 miles away from the moon. Earlier today, the Orion spacecraft completed the translunar injection burn, which placed it on a trajectory towards the moon. On the right-hand side of your screen is Mission Control Houston, namely the White Flight Control Room, or Artemis Mission Control, where the Orion and its subsystems are being controlled out of. This room is staffed 24/7 throughout the duration of the mission. Currently, we are being led by the flight director leading the Orbit 2 team. That is NASA Flight Director Paul Kanya. The crew on board Orion is preparing for their sleep period. But before they do that, they're stepping through a few more procedures with the ground. Here, helping to coordinate those.
Integrity Houston with a voice check on 1.
Houston Integrity, we have you loud and clear. How is?
You are loud and clear as well. One last thought we had, if PCD4 is connected to power, let's leave that disconnected overnight and maybe it'll drain and that'll give us something for one more try. With that though, another great day today. Thank you guys, and we will sign off for the night.
Many thanks to you and the team, and good night.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
And the Orion crew receiving some good nights and final words before heading to bed following a historic day, as the Orion spacecraft is now on its way to the moon. For the first time since 1972, a crewed spacecraft is heading to our nearest celestial neighbor. Now 192,860 miles away from the moon. With the Orion crew now heading for their rest period, let's take a look at a little of what has happened over the past 1 day, 8 hours, and 32 minutes into the first crewed test flight of the Orion spacecraft. Following liftoff atop the Space Launch System rocket from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida at 6:35 p.m. Eastern on April 1st, NASA astronauts Reid, Wiseman, Victor Glover, and Christina Koch, as well as Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen, separated from the Space Launch System, remaining inside Orion, still attached to the upper stage of the rocket, the interim cryogenic propulsion stage. They then were fired to send the crew to a higher elliptic orbit around Earth. After the burn for high Earth orbit, Orion was separated from the ICPS and used the stage for a piloting demonstration to test the spacecraft's handling qualities needed for operations in lunar orbit on Artemis 4. Orion's European-built service module then fired its engines during a move called the translunar injection burn. This burn lasted 5 minutes 50 seconds. Sent the crew on a path toward the moon, the first time humans were sent on a path to the moon in over 50 years. At this time, the Artemis 2 crew inside the Orion spacecraft are now 55,872 miles from Earth and traveling at a speed of 5,722 miles per hour. It will take about 4 days total to reach the moon, and during this phase, the astronauts will fly to the far side of the moon and capture imagery and video of an area of the moon that has never before been seen by human eyes. The maximum distance that the Orion spacecraft is slated to fly away from the Earth during this mission is 252,021 statute miles, which beats the Apollo 13 record by 3,366 statute miles, and we are tracking the closest approach to the moon at 4,010 statute miles. Following this, the crew will continue their journey back home before splashing down off the coast of California, where they will be transported back to a U.S. Navy ship ahead of their return to land.